And so I'm thinking that the original Stringfellow 45 was probably not on Tree Song's label and was released by a different label in the 60s, because the band that is designated as both of those bands, Stringfellow and Bobby and the Innkeepers, was active between 1964 and 1969. And that's it. That's what it says. So those records were probably recorded. But then also on top of this, I found the misspelled Bobby and the Innkeepers with 2 N's. And they...
I thought Bob was here.
No.
Is that your van?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a sweet van, man.
Okay.
How's it going?
Doing good. How are you
Good.
doing, brother?
It's all right.
Okay.
We're not like deep into anything.
Yeah.
If we do use this part of the thing, I'll just say that Reno Dave is interrupting our show.
Yes, Reno Dave.
That's what I do. That's my passion.
No, it's all fine. No, not Bob. I was wondering why someone was saying Bob, and I was like, Bob's not here, man.
Oh.
Dave is, though. That's the
Dave
weird
is.
thing, man. Dave shouldn't be here. All right, guys, let's get back to it.
Okay, cool.
See you guys.
Right on,
Yeah.
brother.
So there could be 2 other songs on this compilation by Bobby and the Innkeepers, but it's just a misspelling. So that's another thing, is that not only do some of these sites not have the accurate information, but they don't have all the information either. Like, so sometimes these things, and this is very easy to do, the actual release of that compilation could have misspelled the name of Bobby and the Innkeepers, and it's very likely that they did, because it seems like it's in the same genre of music. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling about all this stuff.
That's interesting, though.
Well, there's been times like where I've researched something just kind of lightly, and it's just I've taken for granted, oh, it's just a Tacoma band because this said it was. So I'm going to play it. But it's like, oh, it's not at all. Like, and so like, that's also part of the reason that gets me digging into something like this. Cause one, I've not seen it before. Like so I went through that Pacific Northwest Band's website thoroughly. Right. And got all the stuff that applied to me, to the website I wanted to make, that was more Tacoma-centric history of music. But since the time I've done that, it's been updated countless times. There's like lots of updates regularly on that site. So there's been stuff that I don't know of that's been filled in, and also just with just sparse information. And then there's stuff that's not been put there, but if you go to Discogs, you can find stuff there that is, but you also have to know what to look for, because it's not all going to say, oh, this was recorded in Tacoma by a band from Tacoma. So, and that is the case with a lot of that, like that stuff I was just talking about. The 45s that were listed on Discogs, for instance, there's no like indication that they came from Tacoma at all, I don't think, except for maybe one guy who was listed as the songwriter who was also in the band who came from Tacoma. And if you track that down, you can maybe find that. But that's just, most people aren't going to these lengths, because why would they? What's the point? Unless you have a personal vested interest in it and you want to. Whew.
Well, sometimes the rabbit holes you fall down.
Well, that was the point. There you go. That's the whole point, is that because we did the show a day later, I fell down a rabbit hole that derailed the entire show. And this is your fault.
Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. These days are not being free. These days are
So putting it off kind of helped in a way.
Yeah. Well, it probably did, because I probably wouldn't have found that stuff if not for it. But I just needed that point to that inflection point so that we could start the show properly. So now that we've done that, and speaking of inflection points, remind me about that here in a second. We need that little poster board here that I was talking about. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MAWPCAST 1 radio program.
Howdy.
I don't know where you're coming into this show here that we started, because we started kind of a rambling conversation. Probably going to fade it in a way that makes it confusing to you. But hi, we do a podcast, a local music podcast every week, more or less. This is episode 93 of the MAWPCAST 1 radio program, and we're your hosts. I'm Potter.
I'm Chris.
That's right. And we play music from the local area of Tacoma and the greater surrounding scene that we do. All kinds of music, everything that we can find. And that's what we were talking about, some stuff from the 60s. But we don't just play stuff from the 60s. We play modern stuff, too. And if you're new to the channel, we just will talk about all kinds of different stuff and then play songs, just like you're listening to the radio. And today we're going to do exactly that, talk about all kinds of stuff and then listen to songs. All kinds of songs. Great songs, new songs, old songs, weird songs, obscure songs. And that's really about the gist of that.
We might want to add that you may notice Ashley's not here. Ashley is driving down to California right now. She's like right at the top of California or something like that. She said she had 4 more hours to go driving. So I'm
sounded
not
like
sure.
by the sound of it, she was a little farther. She'd well, I saw pictures online where she was in Weed, and that was last night.
Yeah, she was in Weed.
So, and then you said she was in Sacramento, and that's like almost San Francisco adjacent, right? Like it's like
I'm unfamiliar.
Like if you're looking at a map, it's like a lateral to San Francisco, either up or down, like but not like outrageous.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Like and so it's ways, but still. Because it's more inland and up or down from it.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't picture it. But it's a long way still from, are they going like L.A.?
Yeah.
It's about 4 hours from L.A. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
She said 4.5 hours left.
Are they going to just go down I-5 or are they going down the coast?
They went down I-5.
Yeah, that's the most logical way. But the coast is just rad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Ashley won't be with us this week.
No. She's down there being stressed out driving. She drove a little bit, and I guess she went through a tunnel and had a panic attack, so Tina had to take over driving for a little bit. And but it is what it is.
I recently mentioned on a previous show how on a road trip driving into Vegas, it was 115, 17. I don't remember. I think it's 117 is what I keep saying because that's what I remember. Maybe it was 115. Don't remember. But on that trip earlier, I had been learning how to drive. I had learned how to drive several times in my life, but it never took, because I never really followed up and got really good at it. So I could kind of drive, but I just wasn't a good driver. So on this road trip, I'm learning how to drive. And we're learning how to drive on Highway 1 and 101 going down, windy roads with lots of trees. Yeah. So it was a good, like, you're learning
it's
to
good
drive.
Practice on keeping in between the lines.
You're just like, it's, you're learning everything you need to know about slowing down, driving safely, turns, all the banks, everything. It's just a great, it's not necessarily like, it's not a beginner course, It's not like what you should do, just throw your kid into and start driving down. But like, it's a good, like if you've got a good familiarity with the vehicle and driving, then it can be, it's probably better for a more seasoned driver, but it was a great crash course and just driving. So at a certain point, me and my girlfriend pick up a hitchhiker. And at this point we're deep in California, like, past the redwoods, past all the stuff, leaving Santa Cruz, I believe. And so we pick up a hitchhiker who came from Germany specifically to hitchhike. He was just one of this American experience of hitchhiking and sleeping in hostels and stuff like that. And he was a nice, cool guy. Anyway, at one point, like, my girlfriend crashes out and I'm driving and this guy, he's from Germany and he's used to driving on the Autobahn. And I'm telling him, I just learned how to drive, this last week, this last 10 days, and we're coming on into cliffs, giant cliffs. And at least on one side, like there's a wall on one side, a cliff on the other side, and semis start boxing us in, and it's just like There's a lot of tension. She's passed out. He's like, I can drive. If you needed to, we could pull over. I mean, I'm very competent. I'm a good driver. If you just want, if you want, I was like, that's cool, man. I got this. Turn up the Led Zeppelin.
White knuckle driving.
He did. This was his first time ever hearing Led Zeppelin. I played him Physical Graffiti because that was the tape I had in the car, and it was a great experience for him. Like just the song Kashmir, and then the kind of desertish and ocean and rock and stuff that was all around us. It was really good. It was a surreal experience, and it was scary. It burned this into him. It was just like all this stuff. It's like, fuck,
he's gonna remember this forever.
If I live, boy.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good time. Inflection points. I was talking about this. So I will watch some YouTube videos, and YouTube videos famously have a lot of like, people are very groomed or whatever. I don't know what the words I'm looking for is. They really want to like present themselves in certain ways, and they really want to deliver information in certain ways. So there's a lot of like, well, for instance, YouTube voice that people use, and then inflection that they use in their voice to guide you through things. So I listen to a lot of stuff on like the Marvel shows, for instance. The the ways the YouTube shows that people break down, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, or here's some Easter eggs you might not have seen. And there's one called New Rock Stars with a guy named Eric Voss. And Eric Voss, he's very good at his job. He's very thorough. He's got a great delivery and a good demeanor. But he's also got these inflection points that he'll start to say. He'll start to tell you through a story, and he'll say something, but then he'll pause, and he'll say something like this. And then go on and add a bunch of different information, because, it could be like this, and you'll add a bunch of information very fast, but then he'll pause again, and he'll have to have you think. And you have to have you talk. And you go, it's probably like this. And then he'll have a resolution voice. And it's just like these weird inflection points that he's hitting on these buttons at regular times. And if you watch 10 of his videos, you'll hear almost the exact same pattern with everything that he's saying every single time.
Oh, wow.
And this was driven home to me even more today when I popped on a video by New Rock Stars. But it was a different guy. It was a different guy entirely.
Huh.
Saying a script that was either written by Eric Voss, or it was written by him that Eric Voss would normally say, because it was hitting all the exact same inflection points in the exact same ways. This is very famously illustrated in the movie Private Parts by Howard Stern, exactly. When I think it's Imus who's trying to get Howard Stern to say MSNBC, or maybe it's pig vomit or whatever it is in the movie. Someone's trying to get Howard Stern to inflect the MSNBC correctly. Because this is how they deliver this, and this is how you do it. And it's just like, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. And I understand, because like part of like us growing up like defiant and against these kinds of systems, don't want that. We want something different. We want something to speak to us. We're tired of these institutions shoving shit down our throat.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes sometimes. But so my whole point was the inflection points of Eric Voss had already started to get to me a little bit. And then when someone else was doing it, I was just like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. Like, wow.
It's not bad enough that this guy has this characteristic of the way he talks, but now this guy's having to repeat it because...
And with...
It's like, yeah.
There's a certain weird thing about popularity too, is that the more popular a delivery system or a band becomes, like, then the more people copy it. The more popular a certain art form becomes, the more people start doing this art, and this dilutes the value of it and the and the quality of it, obviously, because that's just in part why the value decreases, because people just start to imitate it, like they're just mocking it or trying to do their their own version of this, and then it gets more and more exaggerated or off base. And, you know, this is how Nirvana led to Bush, led to other things. Now, this also leads to rebounds, because then people like start to go, well, I'm sick of that. Now, there's nothing wrong with Bush either. Some people loved Bush. Some people loved Stone Temple Pilots. And both those bands evolved into better things as they went on, I'm sure. That's just the way that things go. But also, then they also lead to the reaction of, oh, I'm so sick of this, so we need this to react to it. This is how punk came from disco and dinosaur rock bands in arenas, you know, like fighting against that. And like there needs to be that give and take. And, you know, this will lead into other things I've been thinking about also, is that like there's just bands like in genres that are never going to take each other seriously, ever. Like a lot of punks hate things that aren't punk and will only like a punk thing, period. Some metal, we know a lot of metal guys, and if it's not metal, it sucks. And this isn't metal, and this is bullshit. And you can go on and on and on down the line. A lot of people in pop bands don't want anything to do with metal or punk, and for good reason. You know, we're gonna play some songs for you.
Let's play some music.
It may seem we're living in a world of fantasy. little story I'd like to tell, which is all about me. But I may have to work hard to get it. In time of need, no one will help me. I cannot understand why so few feel as I do, living in a world of fantasy, seeking help from you and me. No sense of pride, no human desire, floating on a cloud each day, waiting for someone to say, get on board. Take my hand, I'm gonna lead you to the promised land. One day you wake up and see you've reached your destination. Reach 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 your destination. Destination. Reach your destination.
It's literally about like a $50 cut in half.
Uh-huh.
That's how big it was. And I literally pulled my gas tank out of my van, siphoned all the gas out, 15 gallons out of the tank, brought the tank out, take the whole doghouse off my van, which was freaking fiasco, and fucking just do all the spark plugs, which was kind of a fiasco, and the wires, clean the cap and the rotor, and then that last piece was just like, oh, okay, now I'll start. But other than that, it was turning over like crazy and shit, and I was getting gas and shit. I was like, oh, what the fuck? But no spark. I wasn't getting the spark. And it was because of that little fucking thing.
Stupid fucking things. Let's tell the people real quick what we've heard on the show.
All right.
We just came back from a wonderful set of songs. You just heard World of Fantasy by Bobby and the Innkeepers. That's Bobby, not Billy, and that's Innkeepers with
Bob.
one N. That's a classic from the 60s. Lost classic, actually.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it was. Now, Bobby and the Innkeepers, as I was saying pre-show, or at the beginning of the show, if that's included in this show, they became a band called Stringfellow. And the Stringfellow we might hear next week. We'll see. More teasers for next week. They're a little more funky than this. It was a little more soul. It's a little more in the soul vein. Anyway, before we heard Bobby and the Innkeepers, we heard Prayer Factory doing Ivory Skin. And we also heard a song by Gilded Lily, Lung Duster. And then we started the show off with a song called Becoming by this band, Diesel Harp.
Yep. Which is very cool, too. I like that.
It was
and I'm so glad
song.
that some of these bands are still around, still doing stuff, because, man, this last year just kind of killed a lot of bands.
Well, it may have killed a lot of bands. I think I was trying to get to something. Maybe it was during the set of songs. So we play like all kinds of stuff from all kinds of people. Some people who are in their own scenes or in little scenes and pockets of scenes. Some people who are just independent musicians making music on their own, out in their bedroom or out in their garage or whatever. And so while the scene might have took a big blow in terms of venues to play and the major acts that were as prominent and rising at the time, what you have now is an open landscape, a big blank canvas of places that are emerging and bands that are coming together, people that are starting to make music again or finding each other for the first time. So this show, among its many purposes, it's got a lot of purposes. Like, one is it's a platform for the bands, the vehicle for those songs to get played, and for people in the scene, if they would like to see what else is going on or has gone on throughout history, or maybe find some musicians like, I wonder what this guy's doing now. You know, like there are people who might like make good collaborations who hadn't thought of it before or never heard of someone, and they're like, oh, there's a person right there that like that person would be great in my band. See, this used to happen at least back in my day when I was a youngster. We'd be sitting there like at a club seeing a band, and you know, like be like, fuck, that dude should be in my band because his band fucking sucks, but he is rad. His guitar playing is rad. Yeah. He's super cool, and he should be in my band. Fuck those other people. Fuck them. I'm gonna steal that guy. And then there was other stuff that's not quite like as malicious. You know, it's just like people who are dissatisfied in the acts they're in. I mean, the world's filled with this. It goes all the way back to the Beatles, like you know, and before the Beatles, like people are stealing people all the time and wanting to play with people in other bands all the time, and they do. It's an incestuous scene, and there's no, like I had mentioned before the song break, that not all the different little pockets of music gel together very well or want to gel together very well. They don't all like each other.
True. Yep.
And not all are the most compatible, but some are. And some people don't see lines. Like I've always less paid attention to those lines because I've played with all of those different types of bands. Like in the 90s, I played with the Mr. Grinches and the Lithiuses and the Dread Siriuses, and I played with the Katie's Dimples and the not every band, but like I played with a lot of diversity. I tried to play with a lot of diversity. Would have played with more diversity where the opportunities arose, but they just didn't always, or I wasn't always able to pursue them. But those kinds of things can impress upon people. Oh, I actually do like this group. Like this music that I didn't think I would ever like. They showed me a way to appreciate it, or showed me how like it's a thing. Like it's really, I don't know what I'm saying exactly. I mean, I do know what I'm saying, but I don't exactly know how to say it. And I've just been rambling, so I can just shut up for a second. Take a drink.
Yeah. Sometimes that just happens.
Well, it's like we just played that song from that old band, and I've not came across that old band because they weren't a major force in the scene. They were just a band that was part of the scene, whatever scene they were part of, you know, at the time. And they've been largely overlooked by a lot of the people who study this stuff and who research and catalog it. It's just like not been on their radar. And there's probably records out there. You know, this has been more and more the case in recent years, is that more stuff is emerging. Like I was saying with that website, I documented a lot of stuff from the Pacific Northwest Band website 12 to 15 years ago. And in that time, like I don't necessarily go back and check very thoroughly to see what's been updated, but they're updating stuff because new stuff comes to light. New stuff, like there will be things that we discover about the 60s and 70s music scenes that for years to come that has just been, oh yeah, that band, they released a 45 and it's like, yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. I'm like when I got the Stripes record I had talked about also, I'm surprised that Stripes isn't more preserved. Like there isn't someone preserving that legacy more. Like there isn't Stripes Bandcamp or Reverb Nation, you know, with their stuff on it for people to get, or they aren't on Spotify or something like that. At this point in time, like those tools are available, and all these people are still alive for the most part. In most cases, a lot of the bands that I'm talking about. Yeah. So, like, it's not too late to preserve that legacy and make that documentation. It makes it really easy for like weirdos like me who want to research stuff and catalog stuff and find that music, to have that reference point from the people who did it. It's like, hey, this was our stuff, and this was because those sources are usually the most reliable. They're not the most reliable, but they're usually the most reliable. And I do approach the people in the bands all the time, like asking them the details of the stuff or what they know about things, you know, just in general. Mm-hmm. And they're not always forthcoming with information, and they're not always accurate, but for the most part, they are the most reliable sources.
Well, usually that's the best way to get the information is directly from them. And sometimes the information, even coming from them, is a little askew because, you know, you don't know how rough of a life they've lived or how well their memory is, or if they have any disgruntled issues with certain things or whatever, so they leave stuff out purposely or change stuff purposely or whatever. So
yep.
But that's what makes it, you know, such a weird rabbit hole sometimes, because sometimes you get shocked by what happens or what you find and stuff, and sometimes you know it turns out to be exactly what you thought all along and stuff. So.
Yeah, there's so I've always known of a lot of bands that existed during certain times, and I've always known also that they were surrounded by other bands and there were vibrant scenes going on in one kind or another. But I didn't know to what extent all of those bands were recording. And that surprised me. Not that they weren't good enough to record, but because I had lived most of my life without coming across most of these recordings, like, I just didn't think that they were there. Like, it just didn't dawn on me that they would be, because in most cases, like from our, like, we were so steeped in a do-it-yourself and market it yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, we're making this and trying to sell it or shop it to you in some kind of way, get you into it. That it seemed very personal and like, I don't know. I've always also been, I guess, a little more on the I want to know and document it side. Mm-hmm. I've always been kind of interested in that and documenting it in some form or fashion. So I'm just weird, I guess.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. You're just like, you're a information hoarder when it comes to that.
Well, I don't want to hoard it. And I don't hoard it. But I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to be critical.
You're the librarian of information of music that you have.
Because that's like what I absolutely don't want to do is hoard it. I want to like. That's
what I'm saying. Now I changed it to a librarian.
What I used to do is what I do right now in this sphere that we've created. It's the same thing as I used to go around to people with music in my bag and say, hey, have you heard this? Have you heard this Katie's Dimples? Have you heard this Ash Bib? They're great. You know, like I used to do that all the time. And then I would get people to go to these shows. I was like, hey, we should go to this show. Like, it'd be great. What are you doing this? You're not doing anything this weekend. Yeah. We should go to the show. Like, you know, like, you would rather sit around here. Out in the fucking woods, out in Puyallup, or out in Graham, or out in wherever the fuck we are. You want to sit in Spanaway in this garage. Farm. This garage, you know, this garage is cool. This is a cool place to sit when there's nothing to do. But if there's something to do, we should go do that thing, you know. And so, yeah, and then I would sit there and play that music. And you get someone in the right frame of mind, get them really stoned, and then you play something that's really cool for them. They're going to not be able to deny, that is really cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool band, you know.
Let's go check them out.
Yeah. Because the selling point then was like, oh, they're even better live, which is often is the case because it's often hard to record and capture your essence on recording.
But also, if you listen to the recordings, if the recordings are all super technical and crazy and stuff, a lot of times they can't reproduce that. Yeah. So, but sometimes they can.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they could do it because I've seen it done and it's freaking awesome.
There's often been like a lot of great bands that could execute. Yeah. Like of all kinds. I don't know where we're going with all this. I was thinking about other things like the lady who got shit canned from the Olympics.
Oh yeah, because she smoked weed.
Yeah.
And it's
Now-
like, oh yeah, weed's got to really make you go faster.
Well,
No, it's not.
if weed was a performance enhancing drug, I'd be the fastest motherfucker on earth.
I know, right? I mean, I'd be fucking even. Oh my god!
Yep.
I just realized that.
No. My confusion is that other people have, like, had issues with this before, like all the way back to that snowboarder kid, right?
Yeah.
White, something white.
Yeah, Shaun White.
Shaun White,
Yeah,
right?
and then the swimmer.
Yep. Yep.
And then there was another person.
Usain Bolt too, right?
Huh?
It was Usain Bolt, the runner.
Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bolt too. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny. You can't remember the swimmer guy's name now because I'm thinking of the other swimmer, Ryan Lochte, but that's not the other guy.
No.
That's not the bonging chiefing out dude. But so those people, what did they just not test positive?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that is about. I
Like,
just
are
think
they
that's
smoking
freaking
in the off season
stupid.
but still testing negative in the on season? Is that
Yeah.
what's going on? Because
Yeah.
like I've seen photos of the other swimmer dude just bonging out, like and just with the bong as tall as me, like. So I don't get it. I don't get what the big deal is with this woman.
It's just politics.
I do get that there's rules,
Yeah.
like, and you got to follow the rules. Like I understand that. I'm not.
I mean, if it
contesting
was
that.
steroids, okay.
Yeah.
But pot,
Yeah.
that's almost like saying, oh, she had a little bit of alcohol in her system when she won that race. Oh, okay. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. But I have been hearing something about, I mean, of course, I hear this a lot, that there's a really high up federal judge that's talking about just canceling out the marijuana being illegal federally.
Yeah.
So that'd be amazing. That'd be cool because I mean, you know, if they just removed it, let people smoke their pot, you know, I mean, you know, if they get caught doing something stupid while they're stoned, fucking punish them. You know, I mean, if that's the case, but you know, if it's truly causing that issue, but if it's not, fucking whatever.
They regulate alcohol.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. I mean, it's just like that. Yeah, and then it'll make more money, more taxes, more jobs. I mean, you know, that'll kind of kick the illegal side of it to the curb a little bit. So I mean, you know, I don't know. It'll happen. Maybe, hopefully.
It
If
probably will. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because to get to the point where we are, like, there was a point in our life where we were like, oh, we'll never get there. Like, I remember sitting in my bedroom in the 80s with the poster of the marijuana cigarettes on the wall and knowing we would never get there. Cause
oh, yeah, I was there.
Yeah. And we got to this point where it's just like, it's now I understand that there are, it takes time, and I've grown to understand that obviously it's taken my whole life and more, and that there's growing pains and you have to take baby steps and some because drastic sweeping change is uncomfortable and awkward and causes lots of problems.
Oh, yes.
So like, and even still, this is drastic sweeping change. It's just not rapid. It's just at a snail's pace by a lot of our standards. But it will eventually be deregulated on the federal level or decriminalized on the federal level. It'll be increasingly regulated like alcohol.
Yeah.
To the point where they might want to try and restrict people growing it again. I mean, I don't know what the deal is anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean I could see that too because then because if they deregulate it like that, then they could have the pharmacies just prescribing it and stuff like that. So then they'll take that, so they'll make it so that you can't grow for that, or at least with my medical side of it stuff for sure.
It's literally, it falls like right in between like coffee and alcohol, like, you know, and sugar Also, I would put in there somewhere as these substances are all drugs, and they all affect you in different ways, and they are unhealthy to certain extents, and this one really should be eased up on. When Ashley brought up that people can't get jobs at Safeway because of weed, I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, totally stupid.
And this union things that exist, that prevent stuff like that, and I also understand that. But again, if this was taken away, that would free that up.
And I think part of it is that because it stays in your system so long, it's hard to tell. It's hard to test and see if it's actually affecting you now.
Yeah.
And they just got to figure out, and they can test it because they could test out, they could sense the active cannabinoids or whatever.
Okay, so there's also the misconception of what a thing does. Okay, so if you've never drank, you don't know exactly what drinking does.
Oh yeah.
If you've never smoked it, you don't know exactly what it does. And if you smoke it one time, it can be a very intense experience. Just like drinking, they can be like they're hardcore, right? The very first time you do something, if you do too much, especially, they can be either of them hardcore. Like as alcohol or weed can be as hardcore as anything the first time you do it. They're so intense. So if that's your only experience, or you have no base of reference and you're just using your imagination, then these things can be crazy intense for people. They can be like, oh my God, no. Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a lunatic. You're on drugs. Yeah. There was a great tweet that someone made about on the opposite side there that says, okay, sure, maybe she can run. The dude says, maybe I can run a straight line fine when I'm high, or maybe this person can run a straight line fine when they're high, but maybe they smoke too much and they go and grab a javelin and throw it into someone's heart or something. Because
they're going to be too paranoid about throwing it and stabbing in somebody's heart to do that. If anything, they're going to only throw it half the distance because they're not going to want it to go and hurt anybody.
If anything, they're probably going to try and make a pipe out of it and smoke it.
That's right, too.
But this illustrates my point, is that people have a misconception of things if they don't have any kind of base reference to it, and they can just go wild, and people will. In my experience of life, people's imaginations just run wild all the time. They speculate something, and then they say that speculation to someone next to them, and they're like, "You're right. You're absolutely right. He did rape a dog. That motherfucker." I
know. It's just like I saw a commercial or a show once that showed people driving under the influence of marijuana, and they had goggles.
Yeah.
Apparently, that they put on, and it supposedly made it look like when you're high. And I'm just like going, everything looks the same when I'm high or when I'm not high. So what are these goggles doing?
Yeah.
That I don't get it. The drunk ones I get.
Yeah.
I understand that totally, 100%.
Yep.
But the pot ones, it's like, what are they squintier? Are they giving you less field of vision because your eyes are squintier more?
That must be it.
But other than that, I can't see anything. And I want to find some to wear them to see.
Pot
I want to
vision
see
goggles.
what it's all about.
We'll look up some pot vision goggles in between here while we play some more songs.
All right, let's do that.
Let's hear some Black Caesar.
You need to stop with all those silly dreams, saying that the world is yours, not mine. I heard y'all plotting on killing me. That's really just a waste of time. The world spit a murder rap for all my young niggas curve serving sacks. Now blazing, y'all heard the facts, put the curtains back. Y'all better know for certain that ain't no fucking with this. Get rich then spurs to scratch. Burst your gas if you want more. We learn to convert the crack. Oh, the homie put me on like he'll work with that. I hit the block trying to hustle when the dead of the winner. Hell with the cops, still hot like lead when the end of your head from your tender. 9 steps ahead of contenders. Only those crazy won't beats. Just blaze you won't speak. Live and direct. Bullets fly, children die, hit the deck, get wet. My shit got that suicidal effect. Who your idol? I'm deaf. Get off left kill when mainline. Keep my eye on the prize and those trying to stay mine. This world full of jealousy and folks with insane minds. I'm just trying to claim mine, but get y'all right at the same time. Pardon me, y'all really don't want no part of me. It ain't hard to see. My style fat, clog your arteries. I solemnly swear if this shit air, your bitch be calling me. Hold up, I got this now, you obsolete. You just stop with all those silly dreams, saying that the world is yours, not mine. I heard y'all plotting on killing me. That's really just a waste of time. The world is mine. The motherfucking world's mine.
Blue jeans, peanut butter Timbs, brims too low. 25 to life, brothers rep the colors they kill for. Examine the math, study books, plan for the rap. It's a marathon, some niggas died who ran for the cash. Half pipe with many nights, no dinner was cooking. From that California sun to them cold winters in Brooklyn. Folded a grand, don't fuck with hoes in the van. Dumped in shot and seen the blood from a giant hole in my hand. Based on a true story, glories ain't always the case. Lieutenants in the building, knowing the hallways ain't safe. Orders and zones, we don't discuss over the phone. She down now, go broken, you won't hold it for long. Tales from the hood, dirty water, rusted nails in the wood. I can't be naming the spot, but what y'all selling is good. Straps in the ride, illegal money, crack is the vibe. To my life, Chicago niggas with they hats to the side.
You need to stop with all those silly dreams, saying that the world is yours, not mine. I heard y'all plotting on killing me. That's really just a waste of time. Nigga, the world is mine. The motherfucking world is mine. I learned to hold my own, coming up fast, chopping up game on a mobile phone, running the ad, flocking with Kane like nigga, yo, it's on. Thought we was getting dollars, fuck a scholar. Who's to blame for niggas getting caught up? That's just how we was brought up and paid to know the streets and roll with heat. Never show signs of defeated at a soldier week. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And just to cold smoke at least the all week. Plus know some niggas in the cold and deep. Like, fuck if your kids in the car get shot up, sent to the mall for O&D. That's just how I be. Blood stain the concrete, yellow tapes around the crime scenes. Niggas high fiends to do dirt, they clean you for work. We gone, nigga. OGs admire my grind, little kids admire my shine. Haters wanna fire they nines, it's quite risky. Growing up in these trifling times, the good life missed me, so I'm still fighting for mine.
attention now. From here on in, you'll be living without. I can't stand how you think I'm so predictable. I got nothing better to do. You're always so uninvolved. I could never depend on you for anything. It seems to me your precious moments are more important than mine. I've held it in so long, I feel I'm defecating inside. Well, there it is. You got my full opinion now. From here on in, you'll be living without. It's so damn unbelievable that I give control to anyone like you. You're always so unaccountable. I could never depend on you. All your actions keep outweighing all of the things that you keep on saying, and all of your thoughts that you keep debating. I will not wait, I'm not getting younger by the day. The lines are stretching further across my face, and none of this I can blame on you. It's all a result of the things I do. Help me to learn things a different way. And I'll become so teachable and predictable. It's all so new to me. I've always been so self-indulgent. I'm finally starting to see if I give control over everything, I can finally stop to breathe. Yes, I feel you all around me, everywhere that I go. Nothing so true, I'll tell you, and I think you should know that you fill me so full of you. Yes, you have a way making blue skies that were once gray, and I think chance I can. Don't know how you move me like you do, but I'm so glad you have. Fill me up, baby, you fill me up, fill me up, fill me up, and you fill me so full of you. Yes, you have a way making blue skies that were once gray, and I love Can you hear me calling your name? Echoes everywhere. Oh, can you feel me into your dreams? Yes, I feel you there. Fill me up, fill me up, fill me up, fill me up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know when I was in Hawaii, the lady says to keep your hands in the cockpit, like and I get it because there was no doors, and I barely put my hand like this and fucking
Ooh.
just totally sucked my hand, and I was like going, whoa, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm inside now.
I'm not gonna fuck around. Yep.
I mean, you see those people that are like get out a helicopter and stand. You don't realize how tight they're fucking gripping on that thing, because after I went through that, I was just like, oh God, those people are probably like white fucking knuckles fucking totally fucking grabbing onto shit when they're doing that.
Yeah, like, I mean, you've experienced it, but I know a lot of people say, oh, it's so exciting. It'd be so great to do this, and I want to do this. And it's like, I don't really have that desire. It's like, I get it. You're floating around, flying around. Yeah, it's cool. Star Wars and whatever. But, it's like, that's all right, man. I'll just sit right here. Go for a nice walk, nice relaxing walk.
Well, I always wanted to be a jet fighter pilot when I was a kid and stuff. And
Well, I mean, I had all kinds of imagination and like seriously, just the Battlestar Galactica shoot tube that shoots them out of the thing. It's like then they're going so fast through space and
The wave motion gun.
Yeah, like going fast is cool, but like, I'm an adult now, and like I don't need to do that. Like, I think it was this Pearl Jam Vitology record. Like the vinyl had all these weird notes in it. I don't remember if this is true, but this is my memory. And I just read something in there. These were like old-timey ideas, antiquated, old-time ideas about health and stuff like that. Now, but some of them were weird and far out. And one of them was just talking about anything faster than like the speed you can run is unnatural for you. So like,
oh yeah,
even if you're in a carriage, traveling in a carriage, and moving at that speed, that's faster than your physical body would normally go.
Oh yeah.
And
when trains came out, there was a bunch of weird shit that happened. Like women were not allowed to ride the train, I believe.
Yeah.
Because of and don't quote me on this. It had something to do with their vagina.
You don't say.
Catching air because of the speed. I mean, just once that you just read and you're just like going, wait, what?
We might have to Google that, and don't forget about your pot goggles. But let's tell the people what the songs they heard. This show's going down some twists and turns today. We heard a song by Voxy Vallejo called "Fill Me Up," and we heard a song by CCC called "The Big One." We heard a song by 8 Days Clean. It was called "Stop to Breathe." We heard a song by Lozen called "Rumbles." And we heard a song by Black Caesar called "The World Is Mine." So that was 5 songs. Those are the 5 songs you've heard. And I'm telling you, those 5 songs. So don't get used to us playing 5 songs. Sometimes we do this. I've got so many songs to play. I've got to try to fit more in somewhere. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to go against my nature here and look at what my phone here says, because there's a call coming in. Chris is researching something. Hey, Chris, what about those pot goggles?
Okay, hold on. Pot goggles seem to have like they're pretty expensive. Okay, let me see. Find the pot goggles. Oh wait, I was on the same page. All right, I saw one setup in here. Where was this? It's a corporation called Fatal Vision Marijuana Simulation Goggles.
Yeah, so this is supposed to give you the effect of you being under the effect of marijuana. Like you put these on and all of a sudden you're stoned out of your fucking skull.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. And
you'll be throwing javelins at people's heart in no time.
Well, I've been trying to figure out
eating babies.
Exactly what it is. Oh, wait, is this a picture? So that's looking through them. And that's dumb. I don't see that at all.
Yeah. It's like bad video game effect.
Yeah. See, like there's speckles everywhere and stuff like that. And that's just...
Well, maybe maybe it's the looking through these things with the weird effect that fucks with your brain that makes you feel stoned. That's what they're trying to say. I don't know.
I'd feel stoned if I fucking had vision like that. I'd be fucked up.
Yeah. It's not the kind of vision we want to have.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Well, so, and how much were these pot goggles?
Well, there was there was the glasses and this whole setup that was a couple of $grand. And then there was the one that was just the goggles themselves, so it's about up to $400. So, I'm just like going, yeah, I laugh at that.
Yeah, man, you can get weed's way cheaper.
Oh, and the train one, Here it says, when trains were introduced in the U.S., many people believed that the women's bodies were not designed to go at 50 miles an hour and that their uteruses would fly out of their bodies if they accelerated to it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So is that where the chastity belt came into play?
No, the chastity belt was way before that. Way before that.
But I mean, that would help. I mean, if they just wear a chastity belt, it would lock it in.
I don't think
it wouldn't go flying out.
I don't think that's designed for that purpose. It wouldn't hold it. Come on. It's designed for defense from the other angle, not for the,
yeah. Defense.
Right. So Joey Chestnut broke his own record in the hot dog eating contest.
I saw that.
July, yeah.
Yeah. That's just, I don't know. That's just.
Yeah,
unnatural.
I've always said I love and loathe food eating contests, and it's a marvel. It's fantastic, but I mean, I don't go out of my way to watch it anymore. It's always been difficult to watch. In general, and I have issues with food and eating, and so it's very gross.
Yeah.
But it's such an everyman competition. You and I can sit down and play cards together, and we're on a basically level playing field, right? Mm-hmm. You and me can sit down and play checkers or chess or whatever, a game that is dependent on our knowledge, ability, and determination, and all those things, stuff like that.
Yep.
Same with eating. You and I were probably just off the cuff. We're probably pretty evenly matched in an eating contest. We probably both have some pluses and minuses, and so there's that appeals to me. Some big giant guy isn't necessarily going to be as good as a little guy. We've found that out historically speaking, skinny guys, real skinny guys like that Asian guy, Kobayashi or Quasimodo, what was his name?
Quasimodo.
I think I'm reading the song list for yeah. But the guy, it might be Kobayashi. I don't know. I also could be thinking of the Kevin Spacey movie, Usual Suspects, but there was the Asian guy who was Joey Chestnut's rival for so long. He's very skinny, lanky guy. So skinny people can eat more. For some reason, they've the fat belt theory. I remember this. This is an actual food eating thing. Is that the belt of fat that larger people have doesn't allow their stomach to expand as much as a skinny person who can expand their stomach a lot. And you see some of these guys afterwards, and they're just giant. They've gained a lot of weight. Dude, 76 hot dogs and buns, that's a lot, man.
Yeah.
And
that's funny because yesterday I was watching Family Guy, and it was Chris was in a hot dog eating contest. Yeah. And he beat the Asian guy, and then
that's the guy I'm talking about.
The Asian guy decided to start killing people. He got pissed off.
I think that's a bad stereotype.
So yeah, he was trying to kill off people and stuff, and tried to kill off Chris. And yeah, I ain't sure exactly what happened. I really wasn't paying too much attention, other than the fact that, that was kind of funny that they had that right after there was that in the news and stuff.
I love predictive text. I type in former hot dog and it finishes it for me. Former hot dog eating champion. Yes, that's exactly what I want, Google. Described as the godfather of competitive eating, Kobayashi is the 6th-time champion of Nathan's hot dog eating contest and widely credited with popularizing the sport of competitive eating. Yes, Kobayashi is the Chris Moneymaker of competitive eating. Chris Moneymaker was the guy who made poker famous by being just a schmuck who just came out of nowhere and won the World Series of Poker. And after that, it was like, oh, I could do that. If that fucking schlub can do it, I can do it too. And so everyone's just like, that's just the way it goes in life. It's like what one dude ruins it for everyone. Like, so I say this is the theme of the show today. It's like one guy gets famous, everyone thinks they can get famous. One guy finds gold in their hills, and they think everyone's going to find gold in their hills. That's what they're going to do. It's like, oh my God, it's a gold rush. We got to do it too. We got to cash in on this.
The coattail riders.
Yep.
That's what I call it. Riding on the coattails of everybody.
And you know what? We need it. This is part of life. This is a cycle of life. I sound disparaging to them, but they need to be there. Because you know what? Who's filling those clubs if not for the Nirvana knockoffs and not for the Kid Rock wannabes? Who? You know, they need to be there. They need to be following.
Well, and a lot of times that's how the new genres and the new bands and all that start, is by some kid just wanting to say, hey, I want to play that. Mm-hmm. You know, and then they play that and they realize, oh, well, they already played that, so I'm going to play what I want to play.
Yep.
And then there we go. You're off on a totally new timeline and stuff. And
yep. Why can't I combine reggae, disco, and death metal? I can.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I can't. I'm gonna.
It can be done.
Yep.
I mean, I was. It's funny because I'm unfamiliar. I don't pay attention to the wording of genres and stuff.
No,
you know, like,
I understand.
Because like metal, there's like fucking so many different fucking metals. Like, and like I was at this this party on 4th of July, and you know, I was kind of helping him out, getting the sound figured out and stuff. And I was talking to this girl about doom metal.
Uh-huh.
How it's chunky. It's not super fast. It's not. It's just. And I was just like going, oh, I never even knew that's what that was. and then I looked it up, and I was like going, oh, I actually might be able to play some of that stuff.
It's all very true. But what you're saying about you're not because okay, you do get a different caliber of talent through your spheres usually, like on your stages, but you still get a diverse array of it, and you're not really looking at genres, and you get mixed genre bills or singularly focused genre bills, but you get such a diversity of stuff, and especially when you had the big shows of like with 10 bands, stuff like that, like you're not at all focused on the genre. You're focused on getting that group their best sound.
Yeah.
And you don't got time to be hung up on a genre.
Yeah, I don't.
And I've never been too big on it too. I use the terms, and I remember being in this room with someone once having a conversation trying to describe something, and the person saying, "Oh, I don't like labels and genres," and and they're absolutely against them. But those descriptive terms are helpful to get us in the ballpark of what we're talking about. Like, and so like, and we play a show without regard to genre, but we will acknowledge that they fall into it. And genre can be a lot of different things. Like, you know, we can just be talking about 60s groups, and they fall into the 60s group category. Were they psychedelic, or were they rock and roll, or were they blues, or were they country? Or there could be a lot of things, but for the purpose of this, they could just be 60s groups. You know, and so these types of labels are necessary to forward the conversation and put people in the ballpark, because, and also ignoring them sometimes is great too, because some people have their prejudice. Some people don't want to hear if this is a punk band. Some people don't want to hear it but if you slip it past them, they might learn to appreciate, oh, that punk wrote a good song, and that punk grew up to be someone who's not a punk anymore and is in a band that I actually respect and like, you know.
Or then you never know if Joe Blow over here was influenced by that band.
Yeah.
And he grew up to be somebody that's famous from something totally different.
That's right.
Just from the influence and stuff. So, yeah, it's like magic, wizardry, and alchemy of sound.
Yeah. Well, sound is magical. Like, music is magic. It has strange powers over people. It affects them weird. And as an art form, it's super weird. Like, the art of sound, which is, first of all, just our ability to record it has always been far out to me. Video recording makes a little more sense, but still, it's all just magic. So, it's the closest thing to recording memory that there is to me. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah,
and
I can see that. Yeah, because some songs bring me back.
Oh yeah,
to a specific times and places and stuff like that. Like anytime I listen to Jerry Rafferty, I'm in my dad's van driving to the Tri-Cities. Mm-hmm. Or driving back from the Tri-Cities, because that's what we would listen to in the 8-track every time we went and stuff. And yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like music is what feelings sound like. If that makes sense. I don't know. It's like oh.
Yeah, I think it's the most expressive art form. The most like that is like your soul expression.
Yes.
Whereas you can get a piece of soulful expression in a work of art, like a painting or a sculpture. Like you can just really absorb that beauty. But a song has a deeper effect, whether it's just a piece of music or words and music together. Yeah, it's really transcendent and in ways that we just don't even understand completely. But I know that there are also scientific studies on it too. So we do understand.
Oh yeah, more. Frequencies and sound waves and stuff. And
vibrations. You bet.
Yep.
All these different things have different effects on different things. The vibrations can have different effects on your mind or your organ or your mood. Just not particularly related to a song itself, but the effects of those.
Yes.
Yeah, tones and vibrations.
Yep. Like the brown note.
Yeah, exactly. The infamous brown note. People think that's a myth. It's not a myth. It's a sound that'll make you poop yourself.
Yep.
I've known a couple of bands that were really close to achieving it.
Oh, really? Nice.
Not necessarily intentionally, but it's out there. I checked out a little of SVD on Twitch this weekend. Sean Van Domelen. Actually just happened to catch him do a 4th of July stream. Sean Van Domelen is a famous local musician who's been in such bands as Sleepy Pilot and Strangely All Right. Yep. I believe his musical career goes way back into the late 80s, even. Like I'm not positive, but it seems like he was around the PPU days. So he does some streaming on Twitch. He streams video games, and he's rad. He's really good at it. Like I've caught some video game streamers before. He's excellent at it. He's very personable, and he'll talk to you and give you everything you want from a stream. You should check it out. Go like and subscribe and follow his stuff. He's got it going on every platform. I think Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. That's what the kids like these days. The Twitch.
Is that the new one?
Twitch has been around for a long time. Now, it depends on my internet connection. Twitch doesn't always work as well for me. But Facebook, like the Facebook stream that I watch, seems to work really well. YouTube stream works pretty good, but even it depends on the time of day when I'm watching a live stream, whether or not my internet connection. Like when I'm using my hotspot on my phone, my internet connection isn't as strong as, say, using the internet in here. The internet in here is really good, so it's very reliable. I could probably watch Twitch just fine in here on the internet, but it requires a lot of internet strength, I think, for that. But it's a great resource. Twitch is. We would be using it more if I knew more about some of this stuff. And if we were still doing live stuff. I don't necessarily know if we'll ever do live stuff again, but we might. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? So we played a band at the top of the show. The 4th song we played, that band that I just discovered, the old band. They were called Bobby and the Innkeepers. Mm-hmm. So here's a fun little note about Bobby and the Innkeepers, is that they used to be the house band on a TV show. There was a rock music television show here in the 60s. And that band, Bobby and the Innkeepers, performed on the show. They played the music on the show every week. And that show is hosted by a man named Randy Veers, who's been in a bunch of local bands over the years, and his kids have been in bands. It's pretty far out. Like his whole family's got a good long.
What was the show called?
Rock-A-Go-Go.
Rock-A-Go-Go.
Yep, and it was on Channel 13. I don't know what Channel 13 was in the 60s, but
wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
It is cool.
I wonder if we could find any
footage. There's probably no footage. Famously, JP Patches did a lot of shows, but those shows weren't saved because they weren't it was making a lot of disposable content. This is a kids show, and it's not like anything grand or iconic. And the same with probably this rock and roll show. It's just just rock and roll. It's just a fad. It's gonna go away.
It's just a fad. It's gonna go away. That damn rock and roll. Yep.
Yeah. So I remember hearing about the show and have been interested in it, and that's really about the most I know about it. Was that he was the host, and that he produced and hosted it, and that was the house band. So, but there very well could be some kind of recording out there somewhere. I don't know. This would be interesting to find out.
Interesting. Yeah, that's something I'm going to definitely check out. 'Cause that's cool, knowing that stuff's happening or had happened around this area and stuff.
What people don't realize, especially about the early days of rock and roll, I mean, a lot of people do realize it, but what a lot of people don't is that Tacoma was a hotbed of local music from the beginning because you couldn't dance in Seattle. Seattle had the no dance ordinance.
Oh, really?
Like right away, in the dawn of rock and roll, Seattle was like, no dancing. Fuck this. Fuck the kids. Fuck the kids. Oh. And so there was a pretty much a bill that passed that you couldn't book shows, couldn't do shows. I don't know exactly the extent of this, but what I do know is that legendary radio DJ Pat O'Day built his empire off of that. He exploited this, and he went and he rented halls all around, all around the region on the outskirts of Seattle, and would book shows and have a circuit of bands touring these halls, and so they would all just migrate to different halls and perform out and about and around Seattle. And Tacoma, not having the dance ordinance, was a big target for that. There was all kinds of stuff, man. Like at the Frisco Freeze and other burger joints, Pat O'Day would come in and do live DJs on like Fridays or Saturday nights, and
nice.
And it was just like fucking Happy Days, man. Gonna rock around the block tonight.
Nice.
Rock broad daylight. Like it was just all that shit. Sock hops and all that shit used to happen, and Tacoma was like at the epicenter of it. So like, we know of the bands like the Sonics and the Wailers and the Ventures who were emerging from that, but there was so many other bands because again, everyone's doing it. We got to do it too.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening, and it's always been this way. Like the scene waxes and wanes. Sometimes it's way more prominent than others, and sometimes we're just not as into it as it is. It's happening over on the other side of town with some other kids that we don't know. It's crazy.
It's like morphing and changing and relocating
all the time. It's never the same. As soon as you think you know what it is, it changes.
Yep. It's constantly throwing sticks in your spokes. Yep. As soon as you think you're on the right track, nope.
That's right. So let's play more songs.
All right.
Let's play the wonderful band Assertion.
Feel all the hope has died. baby girl, I'm wipe the tears from your beautiful big brown eyes. 'Cause no one's gonna keep you away from me.
I will learn to watch you. I will learn to be filled by you. I will try to be true. There is nothing left that I can do, and I can still remember when the world was lost and you wouldn't go away. I will learn to watch the sky today. I will learn to play by the rules today. Kindly take me back to school today, and I can still remember when the world was lost and wouldn't go away. I will never ever run away. There is nowhere to run anyway. And I can try to come again. I will never
It's all about greed and extra helping. Swear if I can change the world, transform money into affection. Nigga will kill to get ahead, that's why I won't slip behind a weapon. If I ever pull that trigger, I like to aim it for perfection. Swear this like a bitch, but she far from pretty, but I cherish her, but she real wit. I'm turned up, no peer limit, smoke a train wreck, this shit still in me. I speak what's on my mind like a real nigga. AC Deucey told me, fuck it, keep it real with it. End of discussion, all this talking is cheap. I'm killing niggas like the Russian. Rest in peace, dope beat. I'm way ahead of myself. I'm trying to be like me. I'm pushing weight in Lakewood. I rep the 253. I got everything you need, but you don't want it. You don't fuck with me, we don't fuck with you. Platonic. They say it's level to this shit. I feel like Sonic. And my girl ass so fat I had to run. If I didn't love my hood, I go mainstream. If I didn't love my hood, I'd lead a dope game. If I didn't love my hood, I'd be a grimy nigga. If I didn't love my hood, you wouldn't find me, nigga. If I didn't love my hood, I go mainstream. If I didn't love my hood, I'd lead a dope game. If I didn't love my hood, I'd be a grimy nigga. If I didn't love my hood, you wouldn't find me, nigga. This feeling I'm feeling, my words can explain, I'm all in my feelings. Level of my city, the view from the tower should cost me $1 million. Swag got $1 billion, the hate at a trillion, man, that's how we live. The beginning was in it, the life I was living, man, it's time to go get it. Fuck what the fuck niggas say, I rep the hood to my grave. These niggas ain't loyal, they cheat. They lying, they stuck in their ways. I done came a long way from the block. Got through with my drawers, my socks. My 9 to 5 just leisure. This rapping shit really my job. You niggas ain't working like I. You never been on, you never been fine. I've been on my own, hustling grind. Bite my swag, but taking my shine. Shine on these haters, my hater block is on. Them dark aviators, I can't see shit cause I'm long gone. Running this shit like Toucan, killing the track like you say. Real is my only opponent, myself, how the hell can I lose, man? I see no competition, vision, no opposition. The mission is strictly business, pre-sickness, my flow is vision. Rolling up sticky poke, my thoughts flowing constant motion. And all I left was ash, let it sink in like jerk's lotion. All about bending breaks, stack it up to the golden gate. I'm a shark in the pond, when I'm in the hood, it's a bust. If I didn't love my hood, I go mainstream. If I didn't love my hood, I'd lead a dope game. If I didn't love my hood, I'd be a grimy nigga. If I didn't love my hood, you wouldn't find me, nigga. If I didn't love my hood, I go mainstream. If I didn't love my hood, I'd lead a dope game. If I didn't love my hood, I'd be a grimy nigga. If I didn't love my hood, you wouldn't find me, nigga.
Here, but I'm going down. One more shot or one more beer, like one more thought or one more fear, and I wish these things would disappear, but I'm going down. One more shot or one more beer, like one more
We don't need the lights because the camera is out. The camera's out, but I do need those glasses because I'm going to tell everyone all those songs that we just heard. Hi, everybody. You just heard the song Stale by Seaweed off the album Despised from 1991. Before that, you heard Hangover by Stargazy Pie. You heard Love My Hood by Frankie Hustle. You heard Wept Away by Ring. And you heard Supervised Suffering by Assertion.
Great stuff. Oh, great stuff.
Yeah. This was like a time machine today.
Oh, I
Or
know,
like
yeah. We went
Back
all
to the
over
Future
board.
and then
Yeah.
back again.
That's what's so cool about the scene. You know, the scene around this area is you can almost name any era of time that there was buildings here and there was music.
Yeah, there's, we tend to focus on certain things a lot on the show. And it's not that I'm overlooking things, but I can't help it. Like I'm doing my best to diversify as I can, and this is growing organically, and we're getting music organically in a pace that is really good. Like, I've wanted things for a long time. Finally, I get those things, and like it opens up a lot of like those eras that you're talking about that weren't as covered by the show for a while, but there's still genres that aren't as covered, or bands that aren't as covered, or parts of eras that aren't as covered still, because we only have a few things from here and there in a lot of cases. Still kind of, very sparse 70s collection. We have more 60s and 80s than we do the 70s. But that being said, it's all still coming to light. And by the way that it's developing, we've constantly got an influx of new music, whether it's new old music or new music.
So,
And that's rad. I think I need a drink.
you gotta love it. Yep. And I'm still working on that little segment, the bands, the clubs that are opening up and stuff. I've been so focused on getting my van fixed and tying up a bunch of loose ends when it comes to that, and working on my studio at my house and all that stuff, and trying to figure out what to do with all my stuff in storage that I got to get rid of and stuff. So it's just like a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah. I can relate with that. And that was something I was trying to get to there with that topic I was just talking about, is that there's, first of all, a lot to keep track of. And it's difficult, even with all of the resources at my disposal, to keep track of who we've recently played, who we haven't played in a long time, and what all is being covered. And so, and I admittedly don't play enough blues. I don't play enough jazz. I don't play enough country. And would love to play more of those things. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not prejudiced against it. And at times, like today, like, you had talked about, there's different kinds of metal. And we didn't play that many kinds of metal today. There's different kinds of punk. We didn't play that many kinds of punk today. But some things we played can be considered metal and punk, and we played some. It's hard to hit all the demographics all the time. Yeah. And with the influx of music and with certain eras and genres bursting open at once sometimes, I get a little hyper-focused on those. Like, there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to play today that I just could not play. I just had to accept, I can't play that today. I can't. There's only so much time in the hour or two that we have to do this. So I was like, okay, it can wait till next week. These guys will be okay with waiting till next week to hear Katie's Dimples and Stripes. They'll be okay. They can hear Sleepy Pilot next week. They'll be okay. Oh. They'll be cool, right? They can hear some rage and hardcore punk rock next week, and some metal that will rip your ass off next week. We'll do this. I mean, there's still the back half of this show. There's no I'm looking at the camera, but there's no camera there. There's no telling what kind of stuff you're going to hear in the back half of the show. But I guess it's good practice. I can still practice look at the camera. So pretend you're talking to the camera. It's even easy. The pressure's off now. There's no pressure here to look at the camera. So I can practice looking at the camera without there having to be any pressure. I can get used to it. It's like, yeah, look at that direction. Face the camera. Love them. Even though there's no camera there. Get in practice of it. So that later on, You know what I didn't do enough of today, and I meant to do it. This is the one thing I forgot to do, and that is those calls to fucking action, Chris. We need to do that more. We need to tell the people, hey, you know that we have a YouTube page, and you should like and subscribe and share those videos that we make. On that YouTube page, there's so many bands, like the Stripes record that you can't see because there's no camera on right now. There's Kid Blast, and there's Girl Trouble, there's the Mal Chicks, there's Katie's Dimples. There's lots of stuff on the YouTube page that you can go and see. There's Mr. Grinch, there's some other things. I said Girl Trouble. There's lots of stuff. Go and check out those pages. Check them out. The Facebook page you can like, and you can find stuff on there because we share stuff on Facebook sometimes. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitch that we don't do anything with, but maybe we will someday still. The podcast is available where all good podcasts are available for the most part. So you can find us there, and you can give us a good rating and do other things like that. And we appreciate all of the support that you got. We have a Patreon. We have a Patreon page, and it would be really helpful if you guys could help us out and give us $1 on Patreon a month. Right,
you get some cool stuff that way. I was reading over that.
I was going to tell you about this. So I had this idea. In fact, it's already up right now. You might not like it, but if we get 10 patrons, then you will do a video karaoke of Coming to America.
Oh, well, all righty.
and if we get 25 patrons, then I'll start a video series of reading the book The Last Laugh by Bradley Petrovich. I'll read a chapter per episode. And these will be patron-only exclusives.
Okay.
So if you want to get a video of Chris singing Coming to America by Neil Diamond, or me reading a book by a local punk rock legend, then you'll have to be a patron.
Yeah.
Like these are the ideas
of collage from
or a collage from Ashley. That's at a higher level of patronage.
Mm-hmm.
But see, these are patrons have so our patron page has tiers. You can subscribe at a tier level of $1, $5, $10, $25, $50, or $100. Those are the tier levels we have set up. And if we get 10 of any tier level, $1 or above, then we'll do this video of you singing karaoke. Coming to America. And if we get it to 25, then I'll start this video series. And these are again patron only exclusives. And these are just my first dabblings into ideas for incentives for people that are patron only things, and we can do
I've been practicing some REO Speedwagon too.
Well, I can change it. I can change it too, but
let me do some practicing and figure out which one I do best. So if it does happen to go viral, which it won't, at least I won't have to cringe every time I listen to it.
We do have some time. No, you do pretty good Coming to America. Right. That's why. But again, also, I had composed a text where I was going to send you and say, hey, you don't have to do this if you don't want, but it's up there. But I figured, I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
It's out there.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for everything. We appreciate it. And you have a great rest of your week, and support local music. Links are in the descriptions down below to all the bands that are still active, and the ones that aren't, what we have, that's the links that we have. You can go and you can find their music some places. You can buy it and you can support them, buy their merchandise, go to their shows because there's places to play now.
Yeah.
And
Rumors is having shows. McMiniman's going to be having shows here pretty soon. And Plaid Pig is going to be having shows here pretty soon. But
I'm pretty sure I saw New Frontier.
New Frontier, that's right. The Java Jive, they're going to be opening up pretty soon, having some more shows.
Might have even seen the Valley post something about a show coming up.
Oh, awesome!
I'm not positive about that. Yeah.
We'll get into more detail with that. So we'll keep you updated on that. And once I get the rest of my van fixed up, then I'll be able to focus.
That's right.
So peace out.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Show. Gonna give me some quarters, put them in that
You open for others, break the door down, and however your worst fears will be realized. The darkest shades of gray shall tear through your heart like a hot wire through your flesh. Until death do us part was my mind's addiction. Sweet savory betrayal was your heart's desire. Come closer and you'll realize how much of your worthless life is spent on being such a little liar. Such a little liar. You've created. May every look from every eye be seen like glass across the sky by those who would recognize you. So cry alone, say goodbye to those moments in which you felt so-called love. You have no right to live in vain, nowhere to aim the blame, so just point the barrel at yourself. I am the only one I love, the only one I ever cared for. Thrown and left alone. Now why not really are you? Was trying to find a way to kill time. Didn't get to tell you goodbye. Was trying to find a way to kill time. Now you're gone and I can't even say goodbye. This feeling's going tonight. I don't think it thinks I shouldn't say the second inside. My couldn't go another drink. This feeling's going tonight. I don't think it thinks I shouldn't say the second inside. I couldn't. Was trying to find a way to kill time. Didn't get to tell you goodbye. Was trying to find a way to kill time. Now you're gone and I can't even say goodbye.
Mario's waiting for his chance at bliss. The nighttime snow comes fast, and soon he will be traveling by foot with his soul for a sail and his stick for a mast. Mario, whoa, 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 whoa. Mario, whoa, 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 whoa. Mario looks at his devastating world and he sees what he's done wrong. But it's too late to change his hairstyle, and Santa Claus won't sing him a song. Mario, whoa, 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 whoa. Mario, whoa, 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 whoa. There was a time when we could all get together, sharing one huge ice cream cone. They will say we're all birds of a feather, but Mario stands alone. Mario stands alone. There was a place where we could all meet for coffee, sharing one large double latte, stuck together like a great piece of toffee. But Mario looks away. Mario looks away. He's got nothing to say.
a fucking child. No good reason you go hard wild. Fuck your bullshit attitude, I don't need it. Fuck your bullshit attitude, I don't need it. Fuck your shit, 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 fuck your shit.
From the Northwest all the way to Philly, J fucking Clockwork, recognize skill.
I rap sick shit, Big John vicious and sadistic, more fascinating than an ancient hieroglyphic. I rock philosophies that exceed those of Socrates. Ain't nobody stopping me with or without a Glock. With me it's over, ain't nobody else with better flower. Stick your fucking head in the blade of a lawnmower. Disrespect me, I'm like fuck you whatever. Cause if I ever bit your shit I would only make it better. So spray the Beretta whenever I load the letter. Boo-boo bucking shots at you so it's hard to keep your head up. These rappers acting hard when rock they chain without their bodyguard. They spitting they whack rhymes, so stick to the facts. I'm one of the best you ever heard. Don't be afraid to admit it. Embrace when I spit it, amazingly vivid. Yo fuck it, I'm gifted. I only spit hot shit. My cock sticks, but my semen is toxic. Bitches can't stand me cause I'm crazy obnoxious. The plot thick, Big John's the illest around. You could either feel me or hide your head in the ground.
Yeah, who's fucking with that shit? It's straight fucking baby. I'm running this shit right about now. Nobody's fucking with me. Nobody. Yo,
my intention's the worst. I've been riding since birth. Drop a fucking pencil just to look up your skirt. I'm plotting to hurt. Fuck around, get put in the earth. Ready for this rap game, man, I'm putting in work. Life's so great, but fuck around, I'll slice your face. Believe in myself, homie, so I'm nice with faith. I got the amazing, levitating, body-raising flow, hallucinogenical like visions. Once I let it go, I'm running through, rushing through, crushing you, suffocation, hushing you, deleting you, beating you, faggot. Now my shit is heating up. People want more, cause they really haven't seen enough. Think you're tough? You'll get smacked in the face, slapped in the face with a 9mm packed in the waist. I'm back in the place, robbing with a gat in your face. Big John's the fucking illest, homie, make no mistakes. I'm ripping your face off, I'm here to deface y'all. Swinging at your fucking head hard like a baseball. I'm dying to face y'all, I'm dying to waste y'all. Burning up your carcass like your limbs with a chainsaw. My brain's raw, mind and heart full of anger. Thinking about this money while I'm loading up a banger. Fuck work, fuck being a slave, fuck minimum wage. I think I might freak out in a bank with a gauge.
yeah, all of the rappers back down now, baby. Big John ain't going nowhere. This is my shit. Northwest. What?
Hey yo, I'll stop your team. Big John Supreme, when I got the cream. Ladies wanna get it, cause I'm athletic with magic credit. Y'all don't understand what's happening here. The inflation, devastation happen every year. Yeah, turn up your television, radios, and live your life. Then tell me that my mind state ain't halfway right. I'm known for harming fools and eating body parts like I'm immune. Smack a fucking hater for claiming that I'm a lose. That'll never happen. Lose your mic when I'm battle rapping. Disrespect my wife, lose your life when the ammo clapping. I represent the fucking illest in the game. Big John, faggot, peep the realness in my name. Fuck the fame, I'm insane, ready to load a name.
Yeah, this what's up. It's the Northwest, baby. Shout out to Maxwell, Tabitha, Briscoe.